Now at 5 a.m. on WKYT this morning, the Zika outbreak has caused concerns around the world and more recently here in the U.S. But now we're learning the virus may have a link to Kentucky.
If you plan to file your federal tax return today, you may run into some issues actually. We'll tell you why ahead.
And a scammer is posing as a Madison County Sheriff's deputy. Coming up, how you can avoid becoming a victim.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome into you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryant, and we're glad you're with us here on this Thursday. We're starting to see the weekend in sight now, but
yeah, it's there through the fog, right?
It's still a little ways off, but we have some colder weather out there, definitely, as the trend is changing a bit. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out there, and you know what? You may get even some flurries out and about during the morning hours. By the afternoon, though, a mixture of sun and clouds and temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. So it's not extremely bad. It could be way worse. You know that. But once we go throughout the afternoon, this is your coldest day until we hit next week. So now through your weekend, today's your chilly day. 36 degrees there in Richmond, 34 in Somerset. We'll drop that another 2 degrees before the sun rises. 36 by the afternoon, just a chilly day in store. The focus of the forecast, pretty calm weather, and well, until we get to next week, because next week we have multiple chances of snow. I'll show you all of that and tell you what you can expect coming up.
All right, see you then. Thank you.
Well, concerns over the Zika virus continue to grow throughout the United States. The governor of Florida has actually declared a health emergency in 4 counties there following 9 cases of the mosquito-borne virus that were detected.
Yeah, most of that in southern Florida. And in Texas, health officials are dealing with the first known case of the virus transmitted through sexual contact. Now we're learning the virus may have a Kentucky connection. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain joins us now with more on a western Kentucky family's claims. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, this family claims to have caught the Zika virus while they're in Haiti. It's the Carroll family who have been living in Haiti for more than a year. The 21-year-old son, Chantry, currently attends Murray State University. He went to Haiti over Christmas break to visit his family and began to not feel well. Then the entire family became sick from the Zika virus. Their symptoms range from a headache, swollen hands and feet, a body rash, and even symptoms similar to strep throat. Both parents ended up with Zika along with their 13 and 12-year-old kids. Everyone in the family is feeling better, but the World Health Organization says the virus is spreading explosively, adding that we could see up to 4 million cases over the next year. The virus is primarily spread through mosquito bites and is currently circulating in parts of Mexico and 27 countries in the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Researchers in Brazil are currently working on a vaccine. Zika can be very dangerous for women who are pregnant or women looking to become pregnant, as the virus has been linked to a birth defect that can cause babies to have small heads. Now, in an attempt to get ahead of the virus, a health emergency has been declared in the United States down in Florida. The fear is that Zika will enter the local mosquito population in the state. Now, the virus is not known to be circulating in the mosquito population here in Kentucky. The Kentucky Department for Public Health asks that if you have traveled to these areas or are planning to travel to the areas, to be cautious and take the appropriate steps to protect yourself. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
State police say they've made an arrest in the case of a deadly shooting at a central Kentucky stockyard. Investigators say 47-year-old Eric Saylor of Lancaster has been charged with murder. Police tell us Saylor was already in the Marion County Jail on unrelated charges. Investigators say Saylor shot Thomason Monday afternoon at the Washington County Livestock Center. Thomason, who is also from Lancaster, died at a hospital shortly after. Police have not said why they think Saylor killed Thomason. Saylor is being held on a $1 million bond.
The family of fallen Richmond police officer Daniel Ellis is working to honor him by fighting to keep violent criminals in prison. Nearly 3 months ago, Officer Ellis was shot and killed, allegedly by Raleigh Sizemore. Sizemore, a repeat offender, was released on parole just months prior to being charged with murder. Yesterday, the Ellis family met with Governor Matt Bevin to discuss making changes to Kentucky's parole board. Family members want the board to be tougher on crime by keeping violent individuals off the street.
That's our ultimate goal, is just to make sure people don't have to worry about when they walk down the street with their kids and don't have to worry about looking over their shoulder.
Eric Ellis said the governor seemed open to their suggestions, and he told them that the meeting was only the beginning of their conversation.
If you experienced issues filing your federal tax returns in the past 24 hours, maybe you're trying to get an early start, you may not be alone.
Mr. Liz Company, I guess this morning the IRS says it has temporarily stopped accepting electronically filed returns due to problems with some of the computer systems. WKYT's Mark Barber joins us now to talk about what the recent complications could mean for you. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. And they're working fast and hard to fix those problems, but for those who were not able to get those tax returns in yesterday, that problem may just continue today because the IRS says some of their computers may still have issues stemming from that hardware failure. Now, the IRS website is working, but the services that allow you to file electronically or even track your refund, those have crashed. The glitch is being blamed on a hardware failure that forced several of their tax processing systems to shut down yesterday. So what happens if your refund that you filed yesterday, what happens to that? The IRS says you don't need to do anything, just wait for them to work their problems out. The hardware failure does mean that it could take the IRS longer than 3 weeks to return your refund, but they don't think that will be an issue for most people who filed yesterday. Now, they say they are working to get those systems back up and running this morning. As for how long that could take, they're hoping to get everything fixed at some point today. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you. We'll stay on top of that. Obviously, this morning, the Madison County Sheriff's Office is now warning people about a new phone scam that's being reported. Investigators say they have received several reports from people saying that a man is calling around claiming to be a Madison County Sheriff's deputy. They also say the man is telling people that they have missed a court date for jury selection. Those receiving calls say that they weren't buying it.
Usually the first thing I say is I'm not interested and I hang up.
I wouldn't believe them. I know too much about this. I would hang up.
The sheriff's office says they are still investigating to determine whether or not the scammer is calling from Madison County or from somewhere else. If you receive one of those calls, deputies advise you to hang up the phone and report the incident right away. The Creation Museum in Boone County is making a major expansion. The museum wants to build a new 3-story building, which would include a large hall for traveling exhibits. The building would triple the museum's current size. Museum officials say it would be built where the current guest parking lot is. They hope to have that new building open in the next 3 years. Time this morning is 5:07 on WKYT. Up and at it here on your Thursday. We're just getting started with all the latest.
After years of working, a New Jersey great-grandmother got a big surprise from her co-workers earlier this week. We'll show you what happened when we return.
And we have those chilly conditions outside this morning. That's going to be the case this afternoon, too. And then we start to see it rise throughout the weekend before it drops down big time next week. Talk all about that in your forecast coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
And here's a shot outside live sky camera. It's a good looking start to the day. Yeah, you have a few clouds laying around and you could get a couple of flurries, but for the most part, nothing really to worry about as you're traveling this morning. There's live sky camera all as well across the roadways too. We're 34 degrees there in Lexington, 36 in Richmond. You see 36 there in Jackson as well. So traveling this morning, I don't see any issues whatsoever. As I take you around town, we're traveling up 75, and all looks well there on 75, 64, Mountain Parkway, BG Parkway. No matter where it is, it really does look pretty good. Now, as you head off toward the southern zones, heads up, because you could have a little frost there on the windshields too. So all in all, it's one of those mornings that you're starting off that it's just a chilly start, and that's about it. So here's Athens, Boonesboro, I-75. Good flow in that location. There's really, at this time of morning, usually we don't have much going on the roadways, but I'm just showing you dry conditions too. Winchester Road all the way up, Paris Pike and Russell Cave. And you can see once we approach the afternoon hours, we'll go from the 30s, well, to the 30s. It's going to be right there in the mid to upper 30s later on today. Flurry chance early on in the day. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, we're in the 20s. A cold start for you guys tomorrow morning, and also heading in toward your afternoon, we rebound very nicely. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, and also near average temperatures, low to mid 40s. Average is 42 degrees, and we're just above that for virtually all locations, at least at it. Nicholasville coming in 43 in Jessamine County. Let's take you off towards your Friday and into your weekend. Temperatures continue to climb. Saturday and Sunday, they're kind of carbon copies of each other. You'll have partly cloudy skies, and you also see those temperatures in the mid 40s, upper 40s southbound. It's a pretty good looking weekend. You got any plans, stick to them. If you don't have plans, I would say make some. It's not all that bad. It's still on the cool side. You know how it goes, but that is average for this time of year. Here's your 7-day forecast at flurry chance. First half of the day, second half of your day, we'll just have that mixture of sun and clouds at 36 to about 40 degrees. Then we get off towards your Friday, 42, 45 Saturday, 45 Sunday, and all those days look good, right? Well, let me move out of the way. 34 there on Monday. It's not that bad, but here comes some snow showers. And then Tuesday off into Wednesday, another shot at some snow showers. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we at least have the snow chance. I would say Monday and Tuesday are probably your best chances there at 60%. But look at the cold sliding in here on Wednesday. 19 degrees overnight lows in the single digits. Here comes a big shot of cold air next week, and it does not look like it's going to move anytime soon. So next week, it's going to be much, much colder than what we have felt and seen this week. So just keep that in mind, that you want to take advantage every step of the way in the winter, because you know in Kentucky it's up and down, up and down. It seems like it's been like that past several winters that I've been here. But yeah, you take advantage when you can, because next day or even the next hour, you never know.
You never know.
Things change big time.
It's fun, right? It's a ride.
It's up and down. It is a ride, that's for sure.
All right, yeah, a lot of variety in the wintertime. Thank you very much, Micah. It is coming up on 5:14.
Well, every weekday for the last 13 years, this waitress named Catherine Walsh has arrived at work without any fanfare. But Tuesday was different.
Walsh's co-workers at Applebee's in West Hampton, New Jersey, gathered to celebrate her 90th birthday. The great-grandmother says she works 5 days a week, partly because she has to, mostly because she wants to. Her co-workers, who also call her Miss Catherine, are thrilled to have her around.
They love her. A lot of her think that she's their grandmother, wish that she was their grandmother.
She's really sweet. She does her job. She works really hard, and she's just a really, really great person.
I'm part of life. I'm not just sitting there. I'm part of living. I'm out every day, and, you know, I have a purpose. I enjoy it.
Still in the game, Walsh is the oldest of Applebee's 40,000 employees and is more than 4 times older than some of her current co-workers. Miss Catherine says she has no plans to retire anytime soon.
I love it. She's cool.
What a great story.
Nice.
Yeah, cute little lady, huh?
Yeah.
Our time this morning, 5:15 on Thursday on WKYT.
We've got to look at your money. Stay with us.
Ford has announced it's cutting hundreds of jobs. Plus, what has changed since the very first Super Bowl? I'm Hannah Daniels in New York. I'll have those stories and much more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Hey, good morning and welcome back in. 5:15 on 5:18, that is, on WKYT this morning. Good to have you along. Hundreds of Ford employees could soon be out of a job.
And CBS has announced a changing to its board of directors. Hannah Daniels has the latest on your money.
On Wednesday, the Dow spent most of the session in negative territory, but rallied at the close, up 183 points. The Nasdaq lost 12. Ford has announced it will slash hundreds of jobs in Europe and phase out their less profitable models. The automaker hopes to save $200 million annually. On Wednesday, Ford offered about 10,000 of its salaried employees buyouts. CBS announced that Leslie Moonves has been elected the next chair of the CBS Board of Directors. He will continue as president and CEO. The current chairman, 92-year-old Sumner Redstone, resigned from his position as executive chairman and has been named chairman emeritus. CBS is the parent company of CBS News. The Super Bowl 50 set to kick off. What's changed since the first championship game in 1967? Turns out a lot. The average cost of gas was 33 cents a gallon. The median price of a new single-family home was a little less than $23,000 versus about $283,000 today. And the average income for men was a little over $7,000. Super Bowl 50 will air here on CBS this Sunday. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Hannah Daniels.
Toyota has decided to end its Scion brand and rebadge the vehicles as Toyotas. Scion was started in 2003 as a separate car brand targeted at younger buyers. While its products were closely related to Toyota vehicles, they have a unique style designed to be easily customizable. The cars were sold at Toyota dealerships, but in areas set off from the rest of the showroom. The decision to end the brand comes after an analyst with Auto Trader says millennial buyers are less interested in standing out and would rather buy cars from known and trusted brands.
Well, an interesting trend, and I guess require a reset at some of those dealerships where they've always had that separate area there for Scion. All right, 5:20 on WKYT this morning. Good to have you along. It is your Thursday, and we have a lot more news on the way.
And sports is up next.
National Signing Day was Wednesday. Mark Stoops, he is ecstatic about the guys that are coming in this 2016 class. On the flip side, John Calipari not so happy about the way his Cats played against Tennessee. You'll hear from both coming up next.
We're at 34 right now in Dunnville, Waynesburg, and then work your way into, say, Perryville, Bradfordsville. We go off toward places like Springfield. Looking pretty good this morning. It's just a little bit on the chilly side. Jackson over in eastern Kentucky at 36 degrees. And we'll hold on to, say, Winchester and work your way back toward Paris, up toward Cynthiana, Mount Olivet. Like I said, we're looking pretty good, but it is on the chilly side. Watch out for a couple of flurries, too. It's not going to hurt anybody, I promise you that. We get into the afternoon, right around freezing by noontime, and then you get in late into the afternoon. 36 degrees, just a chilly day, but at least we're dry. All right, let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Good morning, everybody. Mark Stoops believes he has the best recruiting class he's had since arriving at Kentucky. And what is he credited to? Well, after all, the Cats have put together back-to-back 5 and 7 seasons, finishing poorly. But Stoops said the potential of what can be done shows through, and he credits his current players.
It says a lot about the guys that we have in this program. Our players on campus, if they were negative or are not into it, or dissension that some people tried to spin or say or whatever, believe me, we wouldn't have this class. Because the players on your campus are going to help you recruit. When they come in here, we could spin our wheels, we could do everything, we could do all the song and dances we want for years. When they get on campus and spend time with our players, they're going to tell them what it's all about.
Defensive coordinator DJ Elliott has 12 new players coming in. 4 are linemen, 5 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs, including Jordan Griffin out of Jonesboro, Georgia, and Devontae Robinson out of Henry Clay.
They bring the prototype corner that we're looking for in this league. And, you know, Devontae, he's a guy that's a low-profile guy. You know, he's not looking for a lot of attention, but boy, can he play. He is a great player.
Jeff Brom has agreed to a 4-year contract extension with Western Kentucky, which runs through 2019 and boosts his annual pay from $600,000 to $800,000. Brom is 20-7 in 2 years at Western. Last season, the Toppers went 12-2, winning the Conference USA Championship. Now, a couple of nights ago, John Calipari's team flew back to Lexington with a loss at Tennessee. It may not have been quite so bad if the Cats had not opened a 21-point first-half lead, but they did, and they lost by 7. It left Cal back talking about winning plays.
But winning plays, I'm there, it hits, I go and I dive on the floor, I get it, I tip it to a friend, and we play. We're not there, but you know, we got a good team. Obviously, we've shown it. We showed it for 15 minutes today, and then we revert, and then, you know, just didn't have the fight that you need to go on the road and win.
Up next for the Cats this weekend is a home game against the Florida Gators. That's a look at sports. Enjoy your day.